Okay, hello there traders. What we're going to be talking about today is kind of making a video here for the new guy to get started trading. Now you can find me over at one of these forums here. These are the two forums, or you can contact me at seller9@yahoo.com. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you'll probably be doing, you'll be opening up your Auto Trader, and remember to have it set up properly. You can check that over and under the manager video, but be sure you got auto trading has to be enabled, and remember you do that over here under options. Sure your options are set up like this. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to trade. We need to get the manager onto a pair. Now the pair you want to put the manager on is one that you're not going to be trading, so don't put the manager on anything you're going to be trading. He is a expert, but he does not go on anything you're going to trade. Otherwise you will have problems. And remember, the auto trader itself is an indicator. Do not put him on the same page you put the manager on. So usually what I use is the dollar turkey, because I don't trade him, or you can use the euro turkey. So what we're going to do is open up the dollar turkey, put him in the chart window, and he comes up like this normally. And now what you want to do is have a completely black background when you put the manager on here. You don't want this on top of your manager. So what you want to do, now there is a template that comes with a system called black template. You can apply that, and I believe the one that's in the zip file has this on the side here. Now what I've been doing is getting rid of that. Just go down here to properties and make this none also. That way it'll just look better when you put the manager on there, because the later manager has that gap stuff listed over here. Just looks better with that going. Okay, so now we have our black template, and actually the dollar turkey is still here. He's underneath here running, but you just don't see him. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place our manager on there. And here's our manager. Double click. For now, we'll just leave everything alone. A lot of this stuff is all explained over in the manager video. And I'm doing this on Saturday, and it does load for me. Sometimes it may not load. You may get blank screens in here. It just depends on what your broker is doing on the weekend. But in this case, we're okay, so it loaded up. Okay, so we have our manager loaded for the first time, so he's fresh. So now what we want to do is create a default template for what we're going to be trading. So I'm just going to open up any chart. Just open up a chart, and it'll come up with the same plain price action chart. Now in this case, I'm going to compress them a little bit there so we get more information. And what I want to do on here now, this is the Aussie CAD. I'm going to place my indicator, which is the S9 Auto Trader version 1B in this case. And these were all explained over in the video on the Auto Trader, so we won't get into those. I'm going to click OK, and he should load. Get rid of that. I want to do is I'm going to make this my default template so I can load it on all of my charts. And you can see we're in manual trading mode, which is the only mode really available in 1B right now. So we're going to go down to template, save template, and I'm going to save this as my default template. Now if you don't have a default template, be sure you just rename it down here to default template, make a new one, and save it. This case, I'll just double-click over the top of my default template, which was actually just a price chart. Okay, so I'm just going to double-click and click yes. Okay, so now we have our default template. So I'm going to go down. You can either right-click and close this AussieCAD, or just click on the close. It closes him out. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to open up all my charts, because I want to scan through them, just looking at them to see if I can find something that looks interesting to trade. I'm going to click on Open Charts. This may take a minute. It's got to load all 28 charts and put that template on there with the auto trader on it, which has got to do some calculations, so just give this a minute or so to finish. And as you can see, this looks better with that white stuff going on the side over here. Okay, so there we go. So we loaded all of our charts. These are the same charts that are back in our manager pair list. And came up to the last one, which is the last one to load. So now what I'm going to do for the first time, I'm just going to go through and see if I can find something that looks interesting that I may want to trade. Or in this case, what I'll do is probably find something that has already been traded, or in the past. I'm not going to set up anything over here. Like here you get a long range. You may want to trade that as a ranging stock. Just see here what if there's something interesting in the past we can find. There's something that looks interesting that you may have traded in the past. Here we have possibly, this could be a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder. And you can see, now, of course, we're looking back in the past. And if we would have seen this, say we turned on our computer over here someplace, and we saw this, it would have been something to trade. So now what we're going to do is show you what to do to set up on something like this. This is a head and shoulders. I don't know if you're all familiar with the head and shoulders pattern, but if you aren't, look it up. Okay, so here we got the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. Now you notice we got the neckline coming across the bottom here. So what we would have done, just pretend none of this is over here yet. What we would have done in this case, say I want to trade this as a head and shoulders pattern, so I would have picked the breakout short line, and of course it's going to come up way over here now because that's where we're at. But I would have picked that, and we would have dragged it something like that. We were looking for a breakout. Now, with the breakout line, when it's red, what that means is the price has to close on the other side of the line. So say we turned on the computer and we were still up here, what we need to do is see the price has to close on the other side of the line. Here, let's see once. And in this case, it did. It closed on the other side, and we get a pullback, which happens a lot of times in a head and shoulders pattern. You get some pullback. Sometimes it'll break through and then it'll pull back, and then you're off and running over here. Now you notice the head and shoulders, the breakout short. BOS stands for breakout short because we want to break out in a short direction. If we were trying to break out in a long direction, I would use the breakout long. It has two positions. Now you notice you click him again, he turns kind of a pink color, and also the color of the line changes to kind of an orange colored. Now the difference between the red and the pink is the red one, it has to close on the other side of the line. When you get it in this position, all it has to do is break through the line. It doesn't have to close over here. Once it breaks the line, it will take the trade, so it can be a little quicker. So it just depends on what you want to do. So in this case, we'll use the and I put it there. It has to break out on the other side, or close on the other side of the line. And you can see we got a little bit of a tick right there, and I put it just below that. It depends on, it's all up to you. I'm not telling you how to trade this. I'm just showing you how the program works. So it's all up to you. Okay, so now we're got that in there. Now we're waiting for it to break out, but we're not trading yet. We're just getting set up. Now, one thing what you want to do when you set all this stuff up is you want to make sure that you have your buttons turned off back here. And you can even have your trading 24-hour your sessions turned off too, because if you don't, when you're moving those lines around, you could accidentally take a trade that you don't want to take. So just make sure you got those turned off so you don't accidentally take a trade. Okay, if you want to, you can just double click it. If you want to turn those little white things off, it's up to you. Okay, so we got our breakout line ready to go. So when it closes on the other side of this line, we would have taken the trade. And like I said, we're looking at it up here. We don't see any of this over here yet. Okay, now you can also set up a take profit short if you want to. Now normally in the head and shoulders, remember, the idea is for the take profit is, what do we got there, about 50 pips, 49, 50 pips. Take profit is usually this height of the head. So we go down here, and normally, where does that put us? Which is down in this area here. But that's kind of far away because you're looking at the chart and you see this stuff over here and you see this over here. So I would not put my take profit down quite that far. But now what you can do is double click on the take profit. You notice it puts the take profit line on there. Now you can move this, double click it, and put it where you want. So what I'm going to do is let's put it, how about right there as our take profit. So now as we break out here, it hits this line. When the price hits down here, you will exit right there when it hits it. Okay, now you can also put on a stop loss if you want to. Now the stop loss is a trailing stop loss or a fixed stop loss, whichever one you want to use. You click it once, it's orange, it will put a fixed stop loss on here. You click it again, it turns red. That means it will now trail at whatever you got it set at. Presently it's set at 3 times the ATR. Well, the ATR is 23 pips, so 3 times that would be 69. So you can look and see where's 69 pips. Probably right in there someplace. It's 69 pips. So if you got in right down in here someplace where that broke through and closed, your trailing stop would be up there. And what would happen, of course, you would go back and hit it, and you would have got taken out of the trade. So a lot of times what I do not even put on a trailing stop or a stop loss until the trade opens up, and I let it run for a while to see what it does. But in this case, say you wanted to put it on and you didn't see any of this over here, you don't know about this yet. Maybe you want to make your stop loss bigger. So all you got to do is just hit the arrows and keep increasing it up to where you want it to be, 3, 4, 5, or decimal point, whatever you want. Now, the way this works, like I said, if you turn it on, nothing's going to appear over here because it doesn't know where you got in the trade at. Because due to slippage and spreads, you may got in down here someplace. So then the stop loss is based on where you got in at, your entry price. So in this case, if you left this orange, it would place a fixed stop loss at, in this case, 68 pips. Now, if you click it a second time, it turns red, it'll place a trailing stop loss at 68 pips. So it just depends on what you want to do. But like I said, this will not show up on the screen until your trade opens. And like I said, in this case, using a 3 ATR, you would have got stopped out because you would have went back up into here where your stop loss would have been and got stopped out. So that's why a lot of times I'll wait until we're into the trade because, like I said, with the head and shoulders, you're always going to get some pullback over here. A lot of times it'll go farther down through the neckline and then come back up. As you can see, it came back up a little bit over here. So it's up to you how you want to play it. But like I said, this will not show up until the trade opens because it does not know where it's going to place it until the trade opens because it's based on where your price is when you enter the trade. So this is how you can set up a trade. And like I said, you can do this on anyone. And then, of course, once you get it all set up, if you want to trade that, let the auto trader enter the trade for you when it happens, because you get this set up, then you can do is go to bed or whatever you want to do and let the auto trader watch the trade, and when it breaks out, it will take the trade for you. But what you have to make sure you do, since this is the Euro New Zealand, you got to go back here and you got to make sure you got the Euro New Zealand button turned on. And you also got either session 1, session 2, or 24 hours turned on. And of course, these will all be determined by what they're set at, by your settings. That's all explained over in the manager video. So it's up to you. And as you can see, Euro NZD, it says M here. It says M on all of them, which means all of these have the auto trader in the manual mode loaded. Okay, so make sure you turn on your button back here. Turn on some time. And then when the, you go back, where is he? When he triggers the trade, the auto trader does not send any trades to the broker. All he does is look for advantages to trade. He sends the signal back to the manager. The manager then places a trade. So you have to have both of these turned on. You can't just go place this on a pair and set it up like this and expect it to send a trade to the broker. It does not work that way. Also, when you're looking for trades, remember you can use this stuff up here. Like if you click on that, it'll show you supposedly your support and your demand zones, and you can select which period you want to look at for your zones. It's up to you if you want to use any of these. And scroll down here a little bit. You got swing points. This just gives you a rough idea where the last swing point was. Here you can, now these, remember, these things repaint, so don't always believe what they tell you. Now here we got a swing point. So according to this, we should be in a down trend. Now it's hard to say, see right now, because normally we wouldn't have seen any of this. Right now it's telling you the swing point going up changed over here to an upswing. But this could have even been up here or up here, because these things repaint. So I said, don't believe everything these things tell you. They're just there to maybe help you a little bit. Then you got the round numbers. You can look that up and see what the heck that refers to. Prices have a tendency to go back to a round number. Here you can see a round number. Here's another main one down here. The other ones are all intermediate round numbers. So you can use those. You got pivots. Look it up. Go over to Forex Factory and look up for the guys trading pivot points. See, right now you can see the neckline is right at the pivot point, weekly pivot point. And then we just got fractals. If you just want to look and see where fractals are, no big deal there, but that's all those are for. Now there was some talk about trades. When you click on the trade button, you notice it shows you a couple trades. Now these were just test trades, so don't go by wins or loses. But the green means it was a winner. The red means it was a loser. Now these are trades that are closed. Open trades, if you're into this trade, say down here it's open, it does not show up when you click on the trade button, because the trade button only shows closed trades. Now those closed trades are based on what is down here in your account history. Here you can see what's down here. Closed trades. Now, if you want to filter the closed trades, say you got a chart and you only want to look at maybe a week's worth, then what you do is you right click down here and you create a custom period. And then that would let you filter. And we gotta wait here because like normal. Okay, so that's how you can do that. One thing I don't like about setting up that custom thing, if you got a whole bunch of charts open up, it seems to just sit there forever. So be careful of that. But also you can filter also over in the manager. Like say you want to look at stats, and now it's showing who knows how many. You look at it showing 334. It's showing all kinds of stuff. Say you want to filter that. How you filter this, remember, if you look at the manager video, is you go to the properties and you put a filter in here. Say, just call it something. Call it today. Click on it. Now if you do stats, notice there are no stats, because nothing was created with that filter. See, we're using the comment as a filter. And since there was nothing created or opened or traded using that filter, nothing's going to be over here in the stats window. So that's how you can filter the stats window. Otherwise, if you want to filter what's on the chart over there, you got to use that down in the account history down there. Set up a custom filter, then it will filter a lot of stuff that's over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to clear this out, I think that's all that's covered here. Oops. If you want to use a break even, I don't know too many people doing it. I don't use it really. A lot of times I don't even use a stop loss. I just keep an eye on them a little bit because you know how the brokers out there do a lot of stop hunting. So, and of course, if you want to, you can use Marty. That's all explained over in the Auto Trader one. And the get out is also. A lot of that's all explained in the Auto Trader one. I'm not going to get into a lot of that here. This was mainly just looking for trades. So I'm going to do is just try to clear this out. We'll just put our default template back on there. And it does that. Now let's go back and look. See if we can see something else. Now you see something like this, you know, it's in a range, and you say, nah, you know, remember you can also change the time frame to see what it looks like on a higher time frame, all the way up to daily, weekly, whatever you want to look at. Or if you want to go down to a lower time frame and look at it, it's entirely up to you. You decide how you want to trade. Let's say you see something like this and it's ranging, and you know, go like this, say, geez, I wonder what it's, you know, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Right now it's in a range, and it probably go back up here to the top of the range. But what we're looking for, is it going to break out and go into a trend, you know, or something like that? Well, then what you can do is you can take the breakout long, and like I said, there's two positions for this also. Click it again, and now it turns yellow. Remember, the second position is just passing through, where the first position is actually closing on the other side. So in this case, we'll use the closing on the other side, and you can go like this because you don't know which way it's going to go. Same way with the breakout short. Put it down here. And now when it closes below the line, it'll go short. When it closes above the line, it'll go long. And you can even put take profit points on there if it breaks out in one of those directions. Remember, you can just double click this and move it. Same way with a take profit long. You can put that up there if you want and put it where you want. It looks like a good spot because here you got some maybe resistance over there. So if it closes on the other side, this line goes up and hits that. Same way with a stop loss. Click on that. And then when it opens the trade, it will put the stop loss where you have decided to put it. So this would be where you would decide, like on a ranging or a pattern. We can go see if we can find any patterns here. Let's see. Let's just get rid of, clean this out. And to refresh, we're on a weekend here, so see if we can find something. See, now even back here, so now we're looking back in the past, so just, you can't trade the past, remember that, but say back here, you know, you could have, and my hand stopped shaking, I'll get it up there. Okay, something like that. And then you could even go on with a breakout short. Maybe put it down here like this, kind of forming a descending triangle or something, or a wedge, whatever you want to call it. So now if it would have broke out above, you would have went up, and if it would have broke out down here, you went short. But in this case, you can see it broke long, and you were off. And then, of course, you can always put your take profit lines wherever you want to put them. Same way, take profit short, and the stop loss works the same way just as it did before. It won't show up until the trade is open. So I hope this explains some of the stuff. Let's go back to our default here. I don't know if we see anything else that looks fairly obvious or not, but it's up to you what you see, because this is where you're going to be looking. And then you look in the past, and then you can look back in the past, way back on the hours or whatever you want to look at here. But what you do is you got to go through in the manual mode and look. Here's another one. You could have put a breakout line, if it breaks long, you go that way. You could put another one down here. Here's a consolidation pattern, so the start of next week, I could get set up. Usually you get these all set up on Sunday night before the market opens. You could set a breakup line there and a breakup line there, and wait and let the computer wait and watch for it. That way you don't have to sit there and watch. But you can go through, like I said, any time frame. If you want to trade the 15-minute, just switch to the 15-minute on all your charts. And like I said, you can do that back here by going to the period. Remember to have your shortcut hotkeys set up for these to work. You can open up a period, and you can change all your charts to 15 minutes. And you can see now they're all on 15 minutes down here when they come up. So if you're a 15-minute chart trader, now you can go through and look at all of them at 15 minutes and see if you can find something there. There's one that's got a little some consolidation or arranging a little bit. Okay, so I hope that helps. So remember, you can come on over and join us. We're looking for more people to come over and join us at one of these forums, or send me an email, seller9@yahoo.com. Remember, the software is all free. And eventually we'll be adding more to the auto trader. We'll be adding actually strategies that all you got to do is just select one of the pre-made strategies and start things up and let it run. It'll do it all by itself. So hope this helps.